We're going to take a quick look at Power Apps. Power Apps are a low-code web and mobile platform which allow you to build custom business apps quickly, and as with the other Power Platform solutions, connect to just about any service or data wherever it lives. We're going to take a brief tour through editing a Power App and show you some of their capabilities and how easy it is to create them. So to create a Power App, you log into the Power App dashboard, and you can use one of a few different starting points. You can start with Copilot for a more generative AI-based approach to initially creating an app and then using that to help build your app. You can start with data. You can start with a specific page design if you have that in mind, or you can start with an app template, and they have quite a few of these. Again, if you have a data source in mind, you can select that and choose multiple tables, for example, to start your application from, or you can see there's quite a list of initial app templates from inventory management to capturing meetings, fundraisers. You can see there's two main types. There's a model-driven app and a Canvas app. Model-driven apps are built on Dataverse, which is a database that originated with Microsoft Dynamics, which is their CRM product. If you have an app that works with lots of large data sets and workflows, and you want a unified user experience and don't need extensive customization of your UI, then those are for you. On the flip side, Canvas apps let you start with a blank UI and allow controls to be drag and dropped anywhere, as well as integration with multiple data sources. So if you need tailored task-specific apps with a unique user experience, then Canvas apps are for you. They tend to be utilized more often. We'll also be taking a look at the My Expenses app here as a starting point in just a minute. But rather than that, maybe you wanted to start with Copilot. And in this case, what it asks you for is a prompt in order to give it a good starting point. So let's tell it we want a facility inspection and maintenance app that's designed for managers to conduct inspections and log activities and things like that. So we give it this description, and it puts together its idea of what might be representative data. So we have some facility names and IDs, dates and times of these inspections, what the activity was, and a few other things. So then you can say, what do you want to have changed? Add a reported by field. So it can go ahead and do that. If there's anything you don't like about the data that it's provided, if there's something that's unnecessary or something that it missed, and it says the table's been updated. So, okay, these are all reported by Jane. So we're going to go ahead. This looks fine. We're going to just create the app. And what it's going to do is provide an initial screen. And that screen is going to have a list of all of the data that's in this table and the ability to view each of the individual items once they're selected, add new ones, edit existing ones, or search for them. And yeah, you can see it gives us a form with facility inspection and maintenance. This control over here has the ability for us to select different items in it. And when you select those items, it's going to bring up all the details inside of this details pane, and you can either edit those or delete those. So you can continue working from this point with Copilot and give it more details. It gives you some suggestions. You can have it continue to help you build, or you can start from here and work on your own. We're going to switch over and take a look at the My Expenses app. This is one of the templates that I mentioned. And we'll talk a little bit about the interface and what it contains. So up at the top, we have an action bar or the ribbon, and that contains a lot of different actions that you're going to use, like inserting new controls. You can search for or select a control, and that'll insert that into the canvas in the center here, which is showing the current screen that you're working on. You can also add data. And if you want to create a new connection, as with the other Power Platform solutions, there are hundreds of available data sources and services and databases and document types and other things that you can connect to. So you would select that, provide credentials or whatever's necessary, and then be able to select data that you can then insert into your app. You can create new screens from a handful of default layouts that are provided. You can change your themes, your background colors, background images. You can go into your settings, and if there are preview features that you want to turn on or off, you can do that in here as well. You can also share this and select, what security groups inside of your organization are going to have access to your apps. There's an app checker which will run and tell you if there are any issues. Let's say there's a control that requires a data source and you haven't wired up that data source. It'll tell you that. Or if there's any particular areas that say, hey, you're going to be trying to load a lot of data at once, that may impact your performance. It'll give you those types of tips and things. You can press F5 or press the run button to preview your app and test it out. You can save at any time by clicking this or Control S, and then you can publish your app as well. Over on the left side is the navigation pane. This lets you, again, do inserting. The default view is the tree view, which is a hierarchical view of your entire app. These top level items are your screens, and you can drill down, and you'll notice when you select things, then they become selected inside of your canvas. And then over here on the right is your property inspector. And again, that's context sensitive. And whenever you select an item in here, a control on your screen, it switches to that control and shows you all the properties that you can edit there. So the main properties involve all sorts of things in regards to layout, fonts, colors, etc., as well as the data that's shown there. For example, this is a button, and when that button is clicked, it sets a variable called expense status to open. And in this case, when we click pending, it sets that expense status to pending. And as you might imagine, the list that is below that, this is a gallery control. That list and its values will change every time you select a different status here. So when we select approved or all or open, it filters the list. So that, those are a couple of the things that you can change through the property inspector. So as we saw, testing an app is really straightforward. One of the other things that you can do, notice whenever I'm clicking, I'm selecting things. You can also select the Alt, hold down the Alt key. And when you do that, it actually will let the app behave as if it would when it's running. So you can kind of test things out and do that just by holding the Alt key. And then as soon as you let go, it goes back to kind of the default selection mode. That's a nice shortcut to be able to kind of test your app without actually running it. Let's go in and add some data to our app. So I select Add Data, and I choose a SQL Server that we've already connected to. And let's select the user table here. So when I say connect, it's going to connect to my database in real time, and it's going to add this user entity to my application. Now, if I was to say I want to add a new screen, and let's make it a list screen, it's going to create kind of an initial screen with what's called a gallery control here. And the gallery control lets you display a list of things, and it also gives you the ability to edit these things and show the individual parts of them that you would like shown. And in this case, we're going to want to change this to reflect our new user. So I select the entire gallery and I go to Advanced, and you can see that there, under the Items property here, it's showing the dummy data that it had inserted for us. I want to get rid of that, and I'll start typing user, and you can see that it knows one of the things that I want to potentially use is a user data item. So I put that there. Oops. And as soon as I do that, it starts populating with the actual data for the users. And in this case, the item that it chose to show by default when I select this label is an email. Well, let's say instead of an email, I mean, the main item we want to show when it comes to a user is their username, is their actual name. So if we put this item dot last name and then put in a comma and a space and then their first name, you can put formatting stuff like that in here, and you'll see that it shows last name comma first. And then we want to say up top here, rather than this division, then let's say we want to show, what else do we have? If I hit period, it's going to give me a list. Let's say title. So now we have a list of all of our users and their titles. So everything about this is completely editable. You can use these screen templates to start out with, and then modify just about anything about them and the data that they're attached to and everything else. You can save things, and then once your changes are saved, you can go ahead and publish. When you publish, you can leave specific version notes to indicate, okay, we added a new screen to allow you to search for users, whatever you like, and then hit save, and your new version of your app will then be published. Then once your app is published and shared with the users that you want to share it to, it will appear in your list of apps, and you can go ahead and run that. Alternatively, you can download on your mobile device, your iOS or your Android device. There's a Microsoft Power Apps app that you can run, and your list of apps will show up there, and you can access any of them and run any of them right on your mobile device as well. So yeah, you can see this works just like the app that we edited. And one of the other things that's kind of a nice feature is that you can actually wrap these apps. If you want to create a native iOS or Android app and distribute that through the channels on those stores or through your enterprise, you can do that as well. So obviously, there are a lot of incredible uses for apps like this. If you have line of business apps, proprietary spreadsheet-based forms that are full of macros, if you have Microsoft Access apps, all of these are prime candidates for converting into Power Apps. So for some of the more complex cases, which might require some deeper integrations and multi-layered designs, 5-Star can help you create those. And these are going to end up being a breeze to maintain and add on to, even for folks who may not consider themselves very tech savvy. So that's it for our first look at Power Apps. Go explore and enjoy.